Hey folks, and welcome back to Glenn and Adrian's Rock Talk. That's Adrian.
And that's Glenn.
And for the second time, we're going to take a look at Died Pretty, the band from Australia that bubbled up during the 80s, had some pretty interesting output at the time, came this close to worldwide fame, and didn't quite get there, unfortunately, but they left behind a legacy of some pretty interesting material. And I always liked their stuff, especially up to the Doughboy Hollow album. They did some interesting things afterwards as well. But we're going to be looking at another song from earlier. This is off the Lost album from 1988 called Winterland. And they have an official music video for that. So that's what we're going to look at today. I do recall this song because I know the Lost album pretty well. It's another one of those that's a pretty good record, kind of underrated. If you ever run into it in a used bin, pick it up and see what you think, because there's a lot of good songs on it, really strong ones. Adrian, any thoughts?
I don't have much knowledge of Died Pretty, but we did that other song. I remember that. And that was good,
That's going to be a slightly smoother era. That was the album after this one, Doughboy Hollow. So they really kind of went for it. This one's a little bit raw sounding in comparison to that one. And, of course, rest in peace, Ron Pino, who died a couple years ago. Let's go ahead and check this out. We'll discuss afterwards.
All righty.
In a voice of pure, pure praise
that reminded me of a lot of things. Adrian, what did you think of that?
Oh, it was a pretty psychedelic song and kind of a trippy video, too.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, definitely, like kind of a psych rock thing going on. Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
They were definitely an alternative rock band from the time,
Yeah.
that's for sure. I mean, they were the kind of band that only sold a few thousand records. You know, you'd find them at Newbury Comics. You know, they wouldn't necessarily be expected to sell huge amounts of records at this point in time. They were like other underground bands, you know, like Metallica that happened to bust out big. Others, I mean, you know, like the whole SST stable of bands and everything, you know, like you know them, but they don't necessarily sell a lot of records. They're kind of like that in the 80s, and they were trying to bust out of that after this album especially. This particular song reminds me a bit of the Velvet Underground. You know, just in terms of the whole vibe, you know.
Video, too.
Yeah, sure.
It had some elements of that. Yeah.
But the pounding on the drums, you know, just using mallets, not using sticks, that's straight up Mo Tucker, you know.
Oh, yeah.
It actually sounded a little bit like What Goes On from their third album, come to think of it.
Yeah. You know what song I was thinking about when the song just began? I was thinking of Morning Dew for some reason. It's almost like a more rocking version of it or something.
Look me out in the morning dew, yeah. Do. I could see that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it just you know, the chords, at least for the first half of it, were like almost the same.
So he was one of those guys that it was tough to understand all the words he was singing sometimes, just like Michael Stipe from REM, you know.
Yeah, I couldn't really make sense of the lyrics myself, but musically, I'm not sure if this was the intention behind the song, but musically, it sounds pretty happy to me somehow.
It sounds like catharsis to me, in a way. You know, like you're building up this thing and letting out this explosion of energy, you know. And then maybe you pick it up again, you know, you come down, calm down a bit, then come back up. They kind of did that in there. So this is not unlike many of the songs on this record, but they do have some variety and they know about dynamics. To me, they're a good listening experience. For some people, they might have to get used to the voice because he's a little bit Dylan-esque. I mean, he's got an alternative voice for sure. He's not even always on pitch on the top notes, but it usually works anyway. You know, it's like he's going for something that's not necessarily exactly the note, you know, but it almost like the unsettling part of that works in its favor. Yeah, so pretty interesting to see the video. I've never seen the video before, and that was cool. Kind of an interesting concept there. It's almost like he had a camera attached to his face, you know, and then in the back, on a backdrop, they were playing previously filmed band footage. You know, because he was in that footage behind him while he was singing in front of the camera. So
I think you were onto something when you mentioned the Velvet Underground.
Yeah.
You know, especially the Mo Tucker style of drumming.
Yeah, particularly on that song.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're not quite punkish, but they've got an attitude, you know, and it works in their favor because they've also got a pop sensibility or a rock sensibility. You know, they kind of follow their own drummer, so to speak. Folks, why don't you let us know what you thought of this? Let us know if you have heard of the band before, if you ever saw them play, if you have this album, anything like that. Any interactions, I'd love to hear about it, especially anybody watching from Australia, because you probably had a better chance of actually experiencing the band. But yeah, give your thoughts below. If you have other suggestions for us, leave those as well. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And if you enjoyed the presentation, please subscribe. All right. Thanks so much for joining us today. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care, folks.
See you all later.